Nvidia's done it again. Chip giants blowing past analysts' expectations in its strong fiscal first quarter. The chip giant beat on the top and the bottom lines. Revenue coming in at $26.04 billion. It's versus the estimate of $24.69 billion. Adjusted earnings per share coming in at $6.12. Company also gave another bullish sales forecast showing that spending on AI computing is paying off. Second quarter revenue will be about $28 billion. Analysts have predicted more like $26.8 billion. On top of all that, Nvidia also announcing a 10-for-1 forward stock split and raising its dividend. Julie Hyman, Dan Howley are here with the takeaways. You know, guys, you went into this print and everybody was on the same side of the boat. 90% of analysts say to buy it. You know what? Sometimes the herd can be right, Dan Howley.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think I'm just looking at this now, not for the first time I've been poring over this, but I just want to quickly, very, very quickly point out that obviously the data center business, easily the most important, but I just want to go over the gaming business real quick because now they're referring to it as gaming and AI PC. And if you've been following what's going on with Microsoft, Qualcomm, Intel, AMD, they're all talking about this new generation of PCs, AI PCs. Microsoft, I was just in Washington, had a big event for this. Now Nvidia pointing to AI PCs. They want to get in on that action as well. Big partner with Microsoft, but the gaming business, not the most important. It's clearly a data center. And I just want to point out the revenue share for the company. 86% of the company's total revenue for the quarter came from data center revenue. This is a company that was all about gaming cards just a few years ago.
Yeah, remarkable.
Yeah, you go back to 2021, less than half of that was the share of the total revenue pie, as we talked about earlier. So it's pretty incredible. You mentioned the gaming there, and I was interested to look at the sequential change in the various segments here. Data center obviously up huge year over year, more than 400%. Quarter over quarter up 23%, still quite respectable. Networking revenue was down 5%. Gaming revenue up year over year, down quarter over quarter by 8%, and they blame that on seasonally lower GPU sales for laptops. Professional visualization, that's another part of the business, down 8% quarter over quarter. Auto, another bright spot though, up 17% quarter over quarter. So that one, it's interesting to look as we see this big growth. What does it look like quarter over quarter? What kind of momentum is there behind some of these businesses?
Yeah, for sure. You know, Dan, I was thinking about how heading into the print, we were talking about some of the threads, the themes, and we were talking about, listen, everybody we knew was going to make a beeline for the data center as soon as it hit. And there was this sort of narrative building out there, well, what if, because you had new GPU platform Blackwell on the way, and maybe customers, they delayed, they paused, because they were waiting for the shiny thing. It didn't look like that happened.
Doesn't seem like that's happening, and I guess, you know, they're projecting these the revenue for the next quarter at $28 billion plus or minus 2%, which, you know, knocks out the 26.6 that analysts have been expecting. The Blackwell chips aren't going to come out until the end of the year, right? So that's something that I think you start to look at. Okay, well, if they're continuing to see this kind of revenue, what does it mean when, you know, the big shiny thing comes out, the big shiny more expensive piece comes out? And, you know, one of the things that that during GTC that Jensen had really kind of pushed was the new Blackwell, the GB200 chip. That's the two Blackwell chips and the Grace chip kind of all merged together into the super chip. That's going to be pretty pricey. So you got to imagine that when that starts to sell, where's the revenue going to go from there?
And one more thing that we noticed in the release here is that Jensen points out who are the customers for a data center, which is important here. He talks about that beyond cloud service providers, generative AI is expanded to consumer internet companies, enterprise, sovereign AI, automotive and healthcare customers. He says creating multiple multi-billion-dollar vertical markets. And as Dan and I talked about off air, that's important because there was concern maybe that they were too reliant on the so-called hyperscalers.
Too concentrated. Jensen saying we serve a lot of people.
Yeah, but Colette Kress, the CFO, and her statement saying still 40% of that data center revenue is those hyperscalers.
Those cloud giants. Thank you guys both so much. Appreciate it.